Good morning, guys. Welcome back to another trading session. Well, today is Friday. We already had NFP at 8:30, and first of all, let me ask you if you guys are all right. NFP can wreck some of those traders who like to open positions on a pre-NFP environment. As you can see, it displaces to the upside quite heavily. But it was something interesting here. As you can see, let me just mark. I forgot to mark the Asia session. Asia session from 8 to midnight. So this is midnight, and here we have Asia low. Asia low to Asia high. So Asia made a big stretch to the upside. Then eventually at 2 a.m. we started with London until 5 a.m. Let me just mark this out first of all. Let me just be a little bit more precise with this because I like to have these levels quite precise. So as you can see here, let me just finish this. Yeah. As you can see here, we had some consolidation. Yeah, the first minutes of Asia just brought price to the upside. But as you can see here, we have a consolidation box once again. So this yellow box is the consolidation. London once again is the manipulation, which we can extend until NFP. It's the manipulation. Here it's green, red. I mean, let me just give it some more color. Yeah, and then we shall expect some kind of distribution to the upside. So the AMD, the accumulation, manipulation, and distribution just happened here. And we stopped right at the midpoint of this red rectangle, which is the daily fair value gap. What can we expect from price now, right? This is the main question. We are testing a bullish 15-minute fair value gap here. We opened here at 9:30, but right away displaced to the downside, presenting right now this is the first presented fair value gap. This one right here. This is a tiny one here. So this tiny one here is the first presented fair value gap. It is a bearish fair value gap. Let me just mark this one out. Yeah. And so we took already buy side liquidity as previous day high as well. And we have a lot of stops here eventually to purge. We have midnight open down here, 8:30 open down here, and the NFP low down here as well. As for now, I would like to see if price really wants to respect these bearish fair value gaps and these bearish PD arrays that is forming. This is some kind of a market structure shift here. But since we are inside the 15-minute fair value gap, I would like to see if we really want, if price really wants to grind lower here, eventually until midnight open, or if we just took out some liquidity and still grind to the upside. This is what I want to see in the first minutes of this price action. Notice that we have this end wall here. This tiny shaded area here is also an end wall, as you can see here, where price is supporting. We inverted this bearish fair value gap here. So right now, I think that things are primed to another stretch to the upside, since we took already some liquidity. Price already came for this 15-minute fair value gap, but to be more certain of things, I would like to see price starting to grind above the first presented fair value gap. So this one got inverted, and let's see how price behaves now, since we still have 10 a.m. news once again. So it can happen that price will stay inside this range, inside the 15-minute fair value gap or the next minutes, and eventually give us something quite near the 10 a.m. Change of the 4-hour candle. But that's why I will eventually wait for 10 a.m. news to see what price really wants to do. Let me just put this right here until 11. Also this one. Also this one. And this one as well. So as of now, I will probably wait for 10 a.m. once again. And this week has been full of news drivers, full of news in between 8:30 and 10 a.m. But as you can see, price started to climb down a bit right at the open. It grinded down here a bit, but quickly reversed and started to grind to the upside. This fair value got inverted, the bearish one, and we are now trying to get above the first presented fair value gap. It might take some time. Eventually, we will have to wait for 950 macro for something to happen. I will notice here. So 950 macro. Yeah, see how price is respecting the first presented fair value gap, but disrespecting these internal fair value gaps here, the bearish one, the bullish one. So it's still quite indecisive here. And that's why I need to wait a bit more until I have something more clear. But these lows here are kind of suspicious for me. We still have this inefficiency here from the NFP as well. We still have the low, the NFP lows here. That's just, it's still intact as well. But in general, I would like to see higher prices. but it can happen that we just cleaned buy side liquidity, and at 10 we can eventually do another run to the upside, taking out the ones that are trying to sell already, and then eventually we will come back to the downside. So that's why I'm waiting for some 10 a.m. news action. That's why I'm not engaging with the market right now. So price is still inside the 15-minute for value gap here. We'll try to see where price is as well with the Fibonacci extensions here. Just let me see where the last down leg of price is. Yeah, this could be some kind of a projection here where we have some confluence here with minus 10 to 2 deviation with the end walk and minus 2.5 here right at the first presented for rally gap here. But I will let price develop some more price action here just to turn things a bit more clearer. Yeah, price already rejected the first presented for value gap, rejected the 930 open as well. Let's see if we will reject the end walk as well. We are approaching the 950 macro too. ES and NQ is doing some similar work, but ES took this low, and NQ it's still working on it. Yeah, these lows that I told you guys that I was that I were suspicious about. Yeah, they are being attacked right now. Let's see if we have a formation of a bearish fair value gap here. There we go. And let's see if we have a follow through of this bearish movement here. Let me just check the 15-minute. On the 15-minute, we still have another fair value gap here down below. I will mark this one as well. So this bullish one. Oops. So price is now retesting this bearish PD array, the bearish fair value gap. We still have some minutes, we still have 10 minutes until 10 a.m. So as I said before, I will not engage with price until 10 a.m. But at this point, I can see eventually these lows being taken out too. Unless we invert this fair value gap, this bearish one here. There we go. Midnight open here was quite accurate with what I said. So we are inside the macro. We are inside the 950 to 1010 macro already. So at this point, price will eventually expand to the downside, or we will eventually create some kind of a reversal to the upside. We will give it some more time. We still have some stops here to punish. Let me just check here. Asia lows, London low. This would be quite a stretch to the downside, but if we lose the daily fair value gap here, it could eventually happen. But let's see if the macro is cooking some continuation to the downside, or if we will have a reversal and a continuation to the upside, since we are as well inside of a bullish 15-minute fair value gap here. Another bearish fair value gap here being tested. We have some SMT in between ES and NQ here. NQ did not take out these lows here. But we still have some minutes before 10 a.m. here. We still have 5 minutes. So it's better to wait for it. Notice these highs here, they are kind of clean as well. They can turn into a low resistance liquidity run to the upside here. A lot of sellers put their stops here, so we can eventually see a grind to the upside, and 950 to 1010 can mark a reversal to the upside here. So far, price inverted the last fair value gap, this one, after taking these stops here. So at this point, if price really wants to dig higher and to climb higher here, we will eventually see an inversion of the end walk, an inversion of this fair value gap as well. But we still have 4 minutes before 10 a.m. news. Yeah, harsh reaction here, harsh rejection from this fair value gap here. We had this order block as well. Price retested the order block here. So 2 minutes before news. Price is clearly waiting for it, not doing anything here. Price driving, trying to drive higher once again here. So it seems like we we are cooking a reversal. If price is able to get above these green candles, this one especially, which mark the bearish order block here, if we can get above it, it might get us a cleaner um, a cleaner vision of what price wants to do, and it would probably get us to the upside once again. So 10 a.m. we hit 10 a.m. but the news driver did not move price that much. We are still in the same range bound conditions here. So a new 4-hour candle just appeared. And let's see if we will try to go for these highs here. A lot of people started to sell, probably. A lot of people placed their stops here. So I'm expecting something, a push to the upside, since we inverted this fair value gap here and price is so far respecting it. But honestly, I would like to see it push a little bit above it. There we go. Let's see if we can get a clean inversion of this fair value gap here. If so, this one might get us the entry that we want and that we expect. Price really pushing higher here. Let's see if price offers a retrace. Price retracing right now. So let's see if we can get another stretch to the upside. We still have some liquidity here. Yeah, right now I would like to see a close above that red candle, a clean close above the red candle. Seems like NQ is a bit stronger right now. NQ is taking out this high already. I would like to see ES following it. And we, as you can see, I entered the position inside of the 950 to 1010 macro. If everything gets into place, I might eventually expect the continuation of this up leg until 1050. I'm not sure if I will be able to hold until there, but that should be eventually a plan. Price is not trying to get above 930 open. 930 open acting as resistance, and right above it we have the first presented fair value gap, which I would like to see get inverted. So really, 930 open is really holding price a little bit here on ES. NQ almost reaching for this high right here, which can turn things a little bit tricky, because it would give us some kind of a SNT in between ES and NQ. But as I was expecting, and as I was saying in the beginning of the stream, I was expecting higher prices. Nice push to the upside here. But I would like to see a follow through of it and closing above the first presented fair value gap. Yeah, NQ already took the high of the last 4-hour candle. You can see here price is having some kind of a hard time to pass through the first presented fair value gap. Coming down once again. This right here is an order block, which I'm expecting to hold. At this point, we have 930 open, the order block, and this fair value gap holding the long position. Nice reaction from the order block so far, but what I really would like to see is a push to the upside, trying to invert the first presented fair value gap. We still have these relative equal highs here, purge. And let me just check here. So this is the last leg to the downside. So we have -1 standard deviation right at the midpoint of this daily fair value gap, as you can see here, which is a strong confluence. And -2.5 standard deviation is right at the end wall, the beginning of the end wall, which is a strong confluence as well. So this could eventually give us some more confidence in this long position. And at this point, we just have to let things run and manage the risk, eventually take some partials along the way. With 4 micros, I can eventually take 3 out, leaving 1/4 of the full position, which would be quite acceptable for some type of a runner. Yeah, it would be acceptable because we would leave about 25% of the position um, as a runner. I would say that that's the maximum amount that you should have as a runner. The ideal spot is in between 10 to 20%. Yeah, but so far I will eventually minimize my risk. Yes, reaching the -1 standard deviation here. So the midpoint of the daily fair value gap is reached. Guess I will take some partials here at the top, at these highs here. And as soon as we hit those highs, I will move my stop loss eventually to break even. Let's see if we can get another move to the upside here, reaching for the limit order. We can eventually expect a retrace back to this order block here and eventually to the first presented for value gap. I would like to take out my partials first or before that retrace, but if it really happens, we can eventually allow it to happen. There we go. Price is doing its retrace, a harsh one. But I really would like to see this order block to hold and eventually the first presented fair value gap as well. Let's see if we can get a bullish reaction from the order block. Otherwise, it will retest the next order block, which would not be the ideal case. It's really working the order block here. Give it some time, but leaving some wicks as well. So it is a good signal. Those wicks right at the order block. Yeah, nice reaction here from the order block. Seems like we are primed for another push to the upside. Let's see if we can get our partials taken here. We still have these highs here to be taken. So I believe that we will eventually reach our partials. Otherwise, I will do it manually. There we go. And at this point, I will move my stop loss to break even and leaving the runner. As I told you, I'm expecting price to move from macro to macro. So in between 1050 to 1110, I will try to um, close my position here. But for now, I will leave it as it is and try to get the maximum amount of it. Yeah, price will now face event horizon. Event horizon um, can eventually work as a resistance on price as well, and can eventually move price inside this new order block here. These four concept, these four candles here are the new order block, and eventually price can start mm, to zigzag inside of it. But at this point, we don't care because we already took some off, and the it is a free trade already. Nice nice push to the upside above event horizon. So this is what you like to see when things are happening inside what you expected. So the first minutes of price action were quite interesting because As soon as we hit 9:30, we had some manipulation to the downside. As I said in the beginning, in the first minutes of the stream, these lows were kind of suspicious here. A lot of stops were placed here. So we got a Judas swing right at the beginning of the opening bell. A lot of players got tricked and shorted the market. Those shorts, those stops from those short positions were placed right above these highs. And as soon as we hit 950, in between 950 to 1010, and 10 as the news driver, we formed some kind of a bullish reversal here after taking out these stops and aimed for the new stops that were in place here. And now, since we started to run beside a macro at 950, I'm expecting it to expand until 1050. So this position can eventually be a 1 hour long position, but we will see. We can eventually be stopped out, break even as well, but at this point I'm not expecting that. The price coming back to the order block, as I was saying when after taking these partials. So this is quite a large order block, so we can eventually expect a large retrace here as well. What we would not like to see is price attacking these lows here. Otherwise, price would come back inside this range and eventually do some damage to my break-even stop. Price trying to get some type of support at the midpoint of the daily fair value gap. As you can see here, this red rectangle here. It will not be easy for price since it is a high time frame PD array, but I'm expecting it to happen. The price still working the new order block here. As I told you, it might take some time. It's quite a large order block, so it is permissible for price to reach 50% of it and wicks might eventually do some lower damage. Um, but what I would not like to see uh, is a purge of these, or price trying to direct its attention to these lows here. But so far, everything is running as expected. In the beginning of this stream, I said that I was expecting higher prices, and I'm expecting this run to end somewhere near between 10:50 to 11:10 a.m. So I'm just giving time and space to price action to do its own thing, and eventually it will reach minus 2.5 standard deviation, or eventually minus 2 standard deviation. It would be acceptable as well. Well, for those who are watching, if it is the first time that you are watching, just drop a like, uh, subscribe to the channel as well if you want. I will try to be here every day streaming, tape reading price action, eventually take some some trades too. As you can see here, I'm trading a demo account, but as soon as I feel ready, I will move to a top step combine and eventually try to get funded as well. Price now taking some time here. Let me just check what NQ is doing. Yeah, NQ is definitely stronger than ES. On the 15-minute, ES is having its 15-minute candle engulfed, so which is not a good signal. Sometimes it happens, especially when we have larger order blocks like this one. On the 15-minute, price is trying to reach the 15-minute order block. That's why we are retracing so deep. Let me just check where the 50% of the order block is. So as you can see, price retraced right at the 50% of the order block, and then boom to the upside. So as of now, I would like to price to maintain its bullishness here, but this retrace is what we have to allow from price. We cannot be frightened about this type of retraces here. It's completely fine to price trying to reach for 50% of that order block. So once again at event horizon, I told you before that event horizon can mark some some point of resistance on price. That's why it is taking that long here. Yeah, once again coming back, price did not uh, was not able to maintain its bullishness here. Let's see if the first presented fair value gap will act as support. Otherwise, if price really comes down below the 50% of of the order block and eventually below the first presented fair value gap, since we already took this buy side liquidity here, I guess price can eventually come down and attack these stops right here. Yeah, first presented fair value gap right now is acting as a line of defense, is acting as support. We still have another thing that is or might be act as support or might act as support, which is the 930 open. But honestly, I would not like to see price come and retest 930 open. Let me just mark this bearish prevailing gap here, just to see if we will eventually respect this one. The bullish one, this one right here, got some kind of inverted. So if we respect this bearish prevailing gap, since we already took buy side liquidity here, we eventually can expect lower prices, and price eventually will start to do its Friday zigzag. But honestly, I'm still expecting, we are approaching as well 1050. So the bullish move might be ending as well. I was still expecting some higher prices, eventually -2 standard deviation, or eventually -2.5, since we have an annual here. But price was not able to get above event horizon. We have a clear rejection of event horizon once here, twice here, and it has some confluence with a rejection of the midpoint of the daily fair value gap as well, which can mark some type of inversion to the downside here. So I will wait for 1050. If we are not able to get above this fair value gap here, I might close the position here at 1050. We still have 4 minutes. So far, the order block just held. So we are trying to invert the bearish fair value gap as well. So everything is still inside of plan A. So plan B would be some kind of a inversion here, and plan A would be a stretched, a continuation to the upside so far until -2 standard deviation eventually, or -2.5. But price took really a long time here, right below event horizon, and right now we are right at 1050, which can mark the end of the bullish move here, and the start of a new movement, or a continuation to the upside, or eventually a retrace to the downside. And so we have 1050. Let's just see if what happens right now. Since it's like price is time distorting right now, just gathering some more liquidity before its next move. On the 15-minute time frame, we can see that the last bullish candle was completely engulfed by a bearish one, and right now for a continuation to the upside we need to engulf once again this bearish candle, which can happen, but it's not common. On the 4 hour, we can see that the previous 4 hour candle, high was already purged. So this high here, both on NQ and ES, but yeah, as you can see, this is really time distortion. Price is just waiting for something, because this right now is some kind of a barcode, which typically happens before an expansion move. So price now moving to the downside. Let's see if it will just take these lows right here and return to the upside, or if 1050 really marks a new movement to the downside, some kind of an inversion. But yeah, so far I liked how price just came, took these lows right here and moved right after to the upside. So this usually is a type of behavior when price just wants to gather some more liquidity, and this is really what happens when time distortion is in place. Just gathers liquidity, finishing was trying to short or sell before getting into its real trajectory. Yeah. So now seems like time distortion is ending, since price already took some sell side liquidity here. This one right here. So now let's see if we are primed to go higher, or if we need to stay some more time inside this fair value gap. It seems like price needs a bit more time before anything happens. So right now, imagine if I didn't take any partials, I would be stressing out here, or I could eventually take partials or completely close my position here. Uh, I was conscious that event horizon could offer us some really resistance here, and these highs could eventually be more, just a little bit more than the low hanging fruit. But as soon as as soon as we, we take them, they can eventually face us inside of a consolidation or eventually a retrace. So that's why it's important to be conscious about that, and not trying to leave a full position to a maximum target like -2 standard deviation or eventually -2.5 standard deviation. That would be some kind of naive. So we have 40 seconds left before the close of the 15-minute candle, and price is now displacing to the upside. So this was really some time distortion here. Enticing traders to go short here because we were respecting this fair value gap for about uh, 20 minutes. Yeah, and then we took some kind of a displacement to the downside, but in the last seconds the candle just retraced all the way back. This is a clear sign that time distortion is happening. We still have 10 minutes before the macro ends, so right now I will just push my stop a little bit above it, above the break even. I'm sorry about my camera, but this will soon be fixed. Just let me restart my camera once again. There we go. As I was saying, I will put my stop a little bit above break even, just to secure some profits of this runner right now. Since we already worked the order block right here, this one right here, these four candles, and we need to create another order block. So I would like to see a close above this last candle here, this last red candle here. So price once again facing a rejection on event horizon right at the end of the macro. So at this point, I'm starting to realize that probably price will have or will need some more time to continue its way to the upside. Yeah, this consolidation is taking ages now. It's been almost 40 minutes since I took my partial. But since it's Friday, it's kind of expected price to be um, to be just a little bit slower. It can be fast and quick on the New York PM session, on the afternoon session, especially at the last trading hour. But I usually don't trade the New York PM session. Sometimes the New York PM session will do the last hour runs. Let's see if we can finally break through event horizon here. Since it's taking a lot of time, but when price was around here, I was kind of expecting a harsher and longer retrace because we needed some structure. Otherwise, it should already happen in a low resistance liquidity run to the upside. We needed more liquidity. We needed more sellers to try to short the market, put their stops right above these highs, and to be punished in order to play to price to move higher. So we have 7 minutes until this 15-minute candle close. NQ is doing a better job, honestly. It is quite near the top. ES is the sicker sister or the weaker sister here. And the 1050 to 1110 macro just ended. So it would be logical for the bullish movement to end as well. But since we are still inside of this consolidation, we might continue to the upside at lunch hour eventually. Yeah, very boring price action right now. We are almost 15 minutes since we took the partial, and nothing happened. Price is just barcoding, honestly. It was quite fun the first minutes of the 915 macro, but as soon as we hit buy side liquidity as the 4-hour candle high, price just stalled and just presented as this barcode. Price is still inside the fair value gap. On the 15-minute, we already worked some of these order blocks of the candles which form the order block, but NQ was still not able to close above the 15-minute bearish candle. But let's see. Price really trying to attempt another hit to the upside. Let's see if it is able to break through event horizon this time. once again, facing event horizon. Let's see if price is able to break above it. It is really taking some time here. And then Q already is already making a new high, while ES is still inside this range. And we are approaching as well the 2-hour mark for our trading session and live stream. So I will end it soon. There's no point watching this price action here, since ES is doing nothing and Q is really doing something. It already broke these highs here, but ES is not giving us what we expected from price right now. Well, price is being too stubborn for me. I will probably end the stream here. It's been almost 2 hours now. Price has been giving us the same range for about 1 hour now. I still believe in higher prices. It is just gathering some more liquidity, I guess. Um, but you will have to be very patient here with the with price action. Um, if you want to engage with it, I would not advise you to engage with it right now. I would like to if I would not in a trade right now, I would wait for the PM session eventually or the lunch hour. I presume that lunch hour will go for these tops right here, those who are long, because those who were shorting the market, especially in Q, were already punished. But we need to punish some buyers right now, because buyers, they just like me, they are sitting on profits for about an hour and nothing happened. So those guys need to be punished before price really takes a momentum to the upside. And I believe that will happen at lunch hour. So at this point, there is no point in being here. I will probably get stopped out here in profit. And yeah, that's it for today. I guess there's nothing left to say here. I already resumed the first minutes of the market and how we approach the market. So yeah, I will leave it here. We will touch. There we go. So stopped out at break even here. Not at break even, but at profit. I still believe in higher prices, but honestly, I'm not waiting for the market. I've been here for 1 hour already, just seeing a barcode, and I think that's enough for today and for the week as well. So, guys, have a nice Friday afternoon, and I hope to see you Monday. It will be another trading week. Have a nice weekend. Spend time with your loved ones, with your family and friends, and enjoy your weekend. Thank you very much, and hope to see you Monday. Thank you.